Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey back with another video. So happy Monday to everyone. I wanted to put out this quick video, just more of an updated version for those who have a keen understanding when it comes to the spiritual space. Whether you're someone who's getting to it or becoming fully aware of self for the first time, with this especially being a new year, or for those of us who've been in it for a bit, and we understand how this thing works. Now you're gonna have some that are very much on the up and up when it comes to being in this space, but then you're gonna have those who are the ones who are gonna try to challenge it and attempt to make it work in their own way, and not such a great way, in such a dark way. This needs to be a warning to those who attempt to do malicious things towards others in not such a great way, in such a dark, evil way. This needs to be a warning to those individuals to think twice about who they're sending it to and for what reason. Let's talk about it. The reality of it all, no one fully operates under the notion of love and light, all love and light, sunshine and daisies, as I would say in some of my older videos. It's not being realistic. You're not being human. No one ever walks around every single day, every single second or minute upon the hour, smiling nonstop, just bursting with joy nonstop. It's not realistic. You're not truly living that human experience. If anything, even for some of us who thrive on that notion of being an optimist, right? Let's really talk about it. For some of us who truly thrive on that notion of being optimistic in various scenarios, it's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, if anything, we should all be striving for it. Furthermore, when it comes down to those who actually do work in the space, this is the part I'm leading up to. Those who do like root work, things of that nature. Let's say you come across another individual who happens to be one that's in the spiritual sector as well. And maybe you're not liking what you're seeing as far as their growth, their changes, and you feel like in some way they're outshining you, or they may be on the upturn, surpassing you in some way or another. Again, you're focusing on what's happening in their lane instead of focusing on how you can better yourself and really thrive within your own lane. That's mistake number one that you shouldn't be doing. Because keep in mind, when you first came into this plane, you didn't know this individual from Adam, nor did they know you. And probably really still don't know you, nor do they care to know you. Furthermore, your intentions, if in any way, is to try to be malicious, to maybe try to thwart off their journey in some form or another, if you're trying to, in some way, make it tough on them just because you don't like how they're moving or the type of traction they're gaining, you have to be careful with what you send out to them that is not with good intention. Because little do people realize the spiritual space, and I say this in a lot of my videos, I've been saying it for the longest, I really wish people start to take heed and really sit on this. Do understand that we are never alone. The spiritual space is always watching. Those individuals, ancestors and such, are always watching. Keep in mind, the very individual you're sending it to now, you might think that they're one way, and you fail to realize that spiritually speaking, they may rank you like tenfold, if not more, just based on what they've done in past lives. Keep in mind that they may appear to be one way in regards to present day. It does not mean that that was the same way they were in those past lives as well. So meaning, they may appear to be sunshine and daisies. Very sweet on the outside. They don't look like they will harm a butterfly. Oh no. That might be where they are present day to an extent, because maybe that's their way of trying to show others that they are welcoming. But if ever tested, you need to be afraid. You need to be very afraid. Furthermore, let's talk about the Akashic Records, you guys. Under no shape, form, or fashion should we be attempting to go into other people's Akashic records, because for one, certain individuals' Akashic records you're not going to have access to. You're not going to be able to get access to. Some of it is blocked for a reason. The spiritual space, make sure it's blocked. Access denied for a reason. And if you even attempt to, even the act of attempting to, and you think it's going under the radar, like, oh, this person's not going to know I'm actually looking into their records. The spiritual space is watching. Are you following me on this, you guys? When you think that you're not being watched at every angle in some form or another, you are, in fact, being watched. Furthermore, when you think that that person may not even have an idea why you are watching them, or you think that they don't know that you attempted to go look in their record. Like, oh, this person, yeah, I follow them, but I don't think they know the reason why I'm truly following them. So you think. And they may go peep in your area a little bit to kind of let you know, I know why you're here. I say all that to say, just the moral of the story in all of this, there's never a moment where you're not going to be monitored, whether it's spiritually from their spiritual family, their spiritual support, or whether it's them personally. Looks can be deceiving. This is why you got to think twice about your intentions, your moves. Make sure all your intentions and your moves are pure, right? Make sure that anything and everything that you do, whether it is with someone who's spiritually aligned like yourself, or if it's someone who's just an everyday Joe or Jane, make sure your intentions are pure, because you'll even know what type of individual you're dealing with at that moment. Another example would be with the homeless person. Let's talk about it. You see that individual, you're thinking like, oh, they're just another lost cause. Most people tend to write these individuals off, and it breaks my heart when I see it. You could be walking down the street and you see how a person passing by like they just trash. And don't even realize that, honey, that could be you at any point when you least expect it. We have to think twice about the very individuals we come across in our day-to-day, even down to those individuals too. Because for all you know, that could be an angel in disguise testing you. Moral of the story, for those who are, and I'm going to say this again, for those who are in the spiritual space, think twice. Please hear when I say this. And see all that, hey, you guys, it's more of me trying to be welcoming. But now I'm speaking to you guys just like more in a teacher approach here. Please think twice about the very acts that you do, the very things you think you do that are in the behind the scenes, that's in the spiritual side of the spectrum, the very things you think that is not being monitored. Just because the person's not reacting in a way to let you know that they know what you're attempting to do, doesn't mean it's not being done. Does not mean that it's not being watched. Think twice about the acts that you do in this lifetime, because you are writing a check that you will not be able to cash. And it's not only going to hit you, it will hit you and your entire crew. I promise you that. Furthermore, for those who, in fact, do not fit into the spiritual space, but let's say you come across individuals in your day-to-day and you're thinking like, oh, it's nothing. Oh, I don't need to worry about that. You know, that's them. That's their problem. But yet you want God, you want Source to be able to bless you in all shape, form, and fashion in various areas. But yet you go around with that type of energy when you cross certain people within your day-to-day. Think twice when it comes to those type of scenarios, because you don't have a clue who that might be that you crossed paths with. You don't have a clue that that might be the piece to the puzzle that is going to catapult you into that blessing that you've been asking God for the past 2 to 5 years. Make sure your intentions are pure in all that you do. Again, the reality of it all, we're not going to walk around with love and light running through us every single day. That's the truth. Because after all, that's not being realistic, is it? But it doesn't hurt to thrive for it, right? It doesn't hurt to thrive for it. And that is all for this quick video, you guys. I know for me personally, again, being a realist, I understand within self that I too cannot walk around every day with love and light and blah, 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 running all through my veins. I have a sense enough knowing that it's not being realistic. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to strive for it. It doesn't hurt to slow down and pay close attention, as I said in a lot of my older videos. And aim for that. Or as some would say who are believers of Christ, aim to be Christ-like or just like Christ, right? Or depending on your belief, I know some who believe in Buddha, like to aim to be aligned with that type of perspective as well, where you're doing right by others. It doesn't hurt to aim for that. And think of it this way. It's kind of like that old school saying, if the shoe was on the other foot, how would you feel? Think about that. If you were the one on the receiving end, where maybe you're passing someone who you think could possibly give you a buck or two, right? And if it was you that somehow ended up down on your luck and you passed someone, you think like, oh, they may be able to, and they treated you that way, how would you feel? Right? We get so wrapped up in what we consume and what we have in front of us day to day and think that it can never happen to us. But then God drops that surprise in your lap like, oh, here you go. Now it's your turn. And a lot of it is a test, but it's a test of will, it's a test of intellect to see, can you withstand this storm? And with all that being said, we're going to make this one short, try to make it as short as possible. But my hope for everyone, whether you're spiritual or not, or if you believe anything pertaining to any of this or not, if you're that naive enough to not even want to accept the reality of what it is that it's here and has always been here, if that we are truly spiritual beings having a human experience. If you haven't made it to that point intellectually wise to understand that as a reality, then that's on you. But my hope is that going forward in 2026, that everyone can agree to be on the same page and learn to do right by others. Just regardless of their income bracket, if they even have income. Regardless of if they're spiritual or not. And for those of us who have the knowing, who truly are aligned with that space and who have the gift, and it's obvious, right? For those of us who do, to do right by others, using it. Don't try to do underhanded shit because you feel like a person is doing better than you or they're about to. And don't think for once. You're naive as hell if you even think you're not being watched. If you honestly think that that individual is not feeling it or sensing it in some way, if you honestly think they haven't been given the heads up about it by their spiritual team, and if you honestly think that your spiritual team and their spiritual team is not watching you do this shit, you think you're gonna get away with it? You guys think this shit is a game? And then when shit start going to the wayside in your life, you're like, well, why is all this happening? Oh, you forgot? You did this and this on this date to so-and-so. Did you forget about that? The person who didn't even know you from Adam, but you did it just because you felt a certain way about them. You felt challenged in a certain way about them because something they said in one of their videos that really hit your core that you needed to learn to heal from. I just saw that org. I don't know what minute that was, but I just saw it. The point I'm trying to drive home, you guys, always operate in the mode and knowing that you are always being watched. You're going to always be watched, whether it's those who are in the physical or you talking about the spiritual. You're always going to be watched. So continue to operate in that mode and doing so, but do so, let that be your motivation to continue to do right by others. Again, regardless of their income bracket as well. That is all for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I do want to welcome all the newcomers who are joining my pages here. I do see you guys trickling in on all the pages, and I do appreciate you. Consultations are still open, so guys, you can find all the information on my website. And yeah, for a lot of the newcomers, so sorry you had to come in at such a time where this is a very intense, serious conversation, but something pushed me and made me feel compelled to have to drop this message again. Sadly enough, it's because of individuals who have been in this space for so long and those who are coming in for the first time as newbies. They're grappling they're trying to grasp for straws, try to grasp for something, or try to in some way intervene with someone else's path because they feel threatened, or they feel like, oh, I have to make some type of come up some way, so I got to do this. Not realizing they're wrapping themselves up in the worst way, not only for present day, but for those who are going to be following after them thereafter in terms of their lineage. They don't think about that. They only think about the now, like, oh, I just got to get noticed. I got to get recognized. Oh my gosh, that's my competition. Oh my God. When in reality, when it comes to those who are in this space, or even those who are not in the spiritual space, those who are your everyday Joe and Jane, when it comes to the very individuals that you work alongside with, or that you go to church with, for those who still go to church, which blows my mind, because church is within, it's not in the building. With that being said, you should be your own competition. It doesn't need to be the next man or woman. But ego is what fuels it. And the moment people can learn to pull away from ego, such as with that perspective, the better off you'll be. We're going to leave it at that. I'll see you guys next time in the next video, and I'm sending you off with love and light. Have a great one, you guys. See you soon.